We're here today to look at the 595 Abarth Comp, but also we're going to have a look at a highly modified version as well to compare them and see what they're both about. Look at that, that's cool. Hello Michael, tell me a little bit about what you've done to the engine.
So we've done a turbo upgrade, gone from the Garrett to the Turbo Technics S260. Sports cat, we've done the bigger Prometeo sump, so bigger oil capacity, helps to cool. It's baffled, so when you're on track.
So yeah, when you're cornering you don't get fuel, oil starvation, yeah, cool.
Done a battery relocation to the boot, made room for oil catch can.
Tell us a little bit about the wheel and brake setup as well.
So that is the big brake upgrade, running McGann RS calipers, and at the minute I'm on Ferodo DS pads. No fade whatsoever. Brilliant. Braided lines.
Are they like a lightened alloy as well?
They are, yes.
I noticed the bonnet was different as well. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
The bonnet is Scara 73 from Italy, so it comes vented, and then I've had the eyelids welded in a Innovation Bodyworks in Maidstone.
And obviously it's got an aftermarket bumper on it.
Yeah, just the lower half.
Okay.
So it's got a Wagner intercooler, lights are custom as well.
Really, it's nice little touches like that really finish off.
Yeah, little subtle ones.
Yeah. So you said you made modification to the exhaust as well?
It's a full custom 2.5 inch stainless steel all the way through with 5-inch tips. And I had to put a centre resin to keep the noise down for track. It was a bit loud, a bit raspy.
Yeah. I noticed as well that the rear wheels had a little bit more, I could tell a little bit more camber on there.
They've got camber plates on the rears. I think it's 175. It is what it is. It's just a metal camber plate.
Yeah. Okay, let's get strapped up. Let's see what this one's about then. Comparison. I have to adjust them a little bit. Just a little bit. That's good. Oh, this feels racy. Racy, baby! See what this is about. First time driving this car. Oh, immediately feels a lot more focused. This car on the road looks so cool though. It's good to have the direct comparison between the two as well, because it gives people an insight of what they're like when you do lean on them. That's a pocket rocket, baby! The standard car's just turned into a spec behind me. It's a fun little car, this. You can't take it massively seriously like you're trying to break track records. It is what it is, but it's fun. This is like the hardened version, obviously much hardened version. The fellow who's modified this has obviously gone to town, but it's a lot of fun. It just feels like it's got such a huge amount of power. Gear selector, all this exposed aluminium or steel or whatever it is. It completely changes the shift. Before it was kind of soggy and it was like kind of imprecise. Now it's very precise, very rigid. Ratios are really close in the box now, so the room for error is very small. You've got to get used to that. I'm used to fire-breathing monsters, but you still have to have the wits about you when driving this. It has got go. Do a little pull in this and see what it's like. It's a nervous car to drive because it wants to torque steer everywhere, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely more of a kind of, you have to grab hold of it kind of jobby. The standard 595 Comp is it's a really friendly car, but this has kind of got, it's like exaggerated the bad habits, but it's going to, ain't it? It's front wheel drive, it's gonna get torque steer. I can't believe how much fun I'm having in a little 595 Abarth. They really are a fun little car. Yeah, the Owens coilovers make the car quite stable in cornering. Makes it quite easy to kind of load it up really. It doesn't roll and pitch up as badly as a standard car does, obviously just due to the fact that the spring rate is so rated. Stopping power is just immense compared to the standard car. That's what you know is the most. I'm going to show you how much stopping force it's got. I don't know if you've seen that, but literally it's got that much force it's sliding that shut. I mean, where do we start on the internet?
There's quite a lot been done in here, isn't there?
It's a bit Marmite. You either like it or you hate it.
I think it's cool. So what's kind of gone on in here then? Could you start me off with maybe the dash? Is that like a custom piece?
It's custom piece again. I made it myself. Really? Yeah, many attempts, and then had it powder coated. I've saved around about 12 kilos in weight. So all the buttons are custom. Custom digital display with lap timer.
Brilliant. That's mega cool. About the shifter as well. That's kind of
the short shifter is probably one of my favourites, apart from the traction control kill switch.
Oh, right, with the skull and crossbar.
But yeah, £1.49, best mod that is.
The dash is almost like them old like 80s films where they like predict the future, what cars are going to look like. This is what reminds me of this dash. I love it how the LEDs light up on like the heads-up display we've got here though. Keep that foot down, baby. This car's a cool car to drive around. It's definitely the kind of car that's going to annoy a lot of people on the roads. Mainly because it's got a bit of go to it, so a lot of cars that think they'll probably get away from you in a straight line wouldn't. And that would probably annoy people quite a lot. So, we're now in the standard Abarth. If I'm honest, it's definitely more of a road car setup in here. If I'm honest, people do slag the 595 Abarths off, whether it's the compact or the standard pack. But I personally think they're really fun little cars.
So the compact includes semi-floating brake disc and a limited slip differential in the front, a mechanical one. And then if you have a look in the interior, we've got a carbon seat, which is cool. I like this little latch as well.
The cabin's a pretty nice place to be honest. You can tell it's cheap, but everything works like it should. It's not a Mercedes-Benz in here, but they've definitely done well with the materials they've offered you. I do really like these bucket seats though, the carbon bucket seats. They're definitely worth getting if you're going to get this car. You sit up really high in these as well. The modified one I've just jumped out of, you sit down really low. Definitely more of a rounded off feel to it. Feels a little bit more wallowy, obviously. So, if I'm honest, Fiat did a pretty good job of setting up the suspension on the comp package. They did a pretty good job, so it's got coney suspension. And I think they got the dampening and spring rates quite bang on for road use, if I'm honest. A lot less torque steer in this. The modified car liked the torque steer quite a lot. Like, quite a lot. So yeah, this is welcomed a little bit less torque steer. It's quite refreshing. The gearbox has got that little bit of a soggy feel to it. Every time you change gear, it's like you get... If you do it slow, the whole car kind of rocks backward and forward. Steering's got a bit of a dead feel in the right in the middle. Let's have a go. Let's do a few pulls in this sensor is about. Pretty decent traction, to be fair. The brakes, they do the job, but I think this particular car needs a better pad compound. As you can see there, he's just pulling away from me straight away. I'm leaning on the brakes, it's becoming dangerous. The brakes are really suffering. Braking's like, you can really stand there, it does stop well. I think when people get into this car and they come from kind of a sports car background, they've driven a lot of different cars, and they get disappointed, they're kind of looking at it at the wrong angle, because it is a cheap, kind of fun little car. It's not meant to be this massively precise pinpoint thing. It's meant to be a fun thing that's catered for a large market.
Let's see what they're like head to head. Let's see what the differences really are.
standard car's a lot of fun if I'm honest, but this feels so much more fun. I mean, it's a different feeling. It's definitely more of a kind of hardcore setup. The power difference is astronomical. If you're a young kid driving this, it's going to blow you away.
So, conclusion, the standard car is cheap, fun, well-rounded, for an everyday little fun car to throw about. Yes, I reckon it's great. Don't really get what people moan about, I think they're a lot of fun. Now, this is what you can do when you get the right modifications on it. It's a huge amount of fun. It really exaggerates all the good parts of the car. And yeah, this is a proper Feathers and Tarmac verified pocket rocket, this one. So what do you think about the two different cars? Let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe and like the video. We're going to need your support on this one, guys, if we want this channel to grow.